After getting familiar with XRio file that is provided by the relay as an output, it is necessary to get familiar with other sections of this file. First, open the XRio file of the 7SA522 Siemens relay with notepad++. In this file, the relay provides the user with the information regarding the setting, as well as the values that are set to the relay. As it has been said before in this file, unlike XRio converter, there are no script references functions in Rio converter tag. The information related to relay parameter section block with ID setting can be found in the custom tag, while the relay parameter information is available in its subcategories. For example, you can find ID, PID, _16611, description, setting group change option, foreign ID 0103, data type, enumeration, and enum list in the parameter with name, GRP, CHGE option. Moreover, the information regarding device block is mentioned in the Rio section. Entering relay information in the software. Before loading the 7SA522 relay setting in Webco AM ProTest software, it is necessary the XRio converter file related to 7SA522 Siemens relay, which is available in the Webco AM ProTest software, to be loaded by clicking on Import from List icon. The Load XRio and Rio file from list page opens. On this page, in XRio mode, the model of 7SA522 relay is entered in the search field, then its XRio converter should be selected. After this file is loaded, the XRio file of the relay should be entered. To do this, click on File menu, then select Load Relay Setting. After that, select XRio Relay Output Format from Relay Config Type field. In the config file path, the path to the XRio file is determined and the XRio file is selected. In the Matching Algorithm section, the user needs to specify the type of information that is to be loaded from the XRio file to the XRio converter. If Equal ID option is checked and the other options are unchecked, then only those parameters of the relay whose ID is the same in the XRio and XRio converter files are loaded in the software. By clicking on OK, a message is displayed. In this message, the phrase parameter values imported shows the number of parameters that are loaded in the software, and their ID is the same as the XRio converter. Also, the different names phrase shows the number of loaded parameters that have the same ID but whose name is not the same in XRio and XRio converter files. The phrase corrected names shows the number of parameters whose name, being different, is corrected by software in accordance with the XRio converter. The phrase errors shows the number of error parameters. The error can have various reasons. For example, the type of a text parameter can be specified as a string in the XRio converter. The phrase corrected errors shows the number of parameters whose error is corrected according to the XRio converter. The phrase duplicate IDs shows the number of parameters which have the same ID, or foreign ID in XRio converter or XRio file. In such a case, Webco software does not load values of these parameters. After clicking on OK, the relay information is loaded in the XRio converter. After the relay information is loaded, the parameters entered in the left side are displayed in Relay Config Log field at the bottom of Test Object page, while XML format of the XRio file is displayed on the right side. For example, the GRPCHGE option parameter is loaded in the software with no problem, or the name of RG/RL bigger than Z1 parameter in XRio file is different from its name in XRio converter file. Load Relay Setting page. By reopening Load Relay Setting window after determining the format of the relay file and selecting the path of XRio file, by clicking on Advanced View option, a window with the same name opens. Tree diagrams and the XML format of these two files are located at the top and bottom of this page, respectively, in a way that the XRio file of the relay can be seen on the right, while the XRio converter file can be seen on the left. If Show XML Documents option is checked, these two files are also displayed as XML. For example, in the XRio file of the relay in custom block, the GRPCHGE option has ID, PID_16611. This parameter has the same ID in custom block in the XRio converter file of the software. As another example, a parameter in XRio file with ID of PDI_25555 is named 50N-B1 inst BI, while in XRio converter file the same ID is named 50N-B1 pill/BI. This is why this parameter is placed in different names category. In matching algorithm part of the load relay setting window, if the equal foreign ID option is checked, the parameters whose foreign ID is the same in both XRio and XRio converter files of the relay are loaded. If the XRio contains setting foreign ID and setting contains XRio foreign ID options are checked, parameters whose foreign ID in XRio file includes some additional parameters, such as a letter or half space, are loaded and vice versa. For example, a parameter's foreign ID of 109A in XRio file, while the same parameter's foreign ID of 109A-B in XRio converter file. If the XRio contains setting foreign ID option is checked, this parameter is loaded in the software and vice versa. The equal code of foreign ID option is for ABB relays. There is no connection between the foreign ID of relays XRio and XRio converter file in XRio file of these relays, but in some conditions the foreigns in the XRio file of the relay and XRio converter file are connected. For example, on the test object page, by clicking on import from file, first an XRio converter related to the ABB REL65FO is loaded. Then, by clicking on file menu and selecting load relay setting option, the XRio file related to this relay is selected. Also, in the matching algorithm tab, only the equal code of foreign ID PCM600 option is checked. By opening the advanced view page, both files are displayed as XML. As an example, a parameter named BIM_3 with a specific foreign ID is selected in the XRio converter file, while this parameter has a different foreign ID in the XRio file of the relay. But it is seen that a part of the foreign ID is the same in both files, which means that the 8 first characters and then the 4 second, third, and fourth characters and the 12 characters should be the same in the foreign ID of both files, so that this parameter is loaded in the XRio converter. Then, by clicking on OK, it is seen that 2179 parameters are loaded in the XRio converter.